A homeowner in Leicester called a gas-safe engineer in January. Her boiler packed up at 11 o'clock the night before. No heating, no hot water, 2 kids in the house, and it was -4 degrees outside. The engineer arrived the next morning, opened the casing and shook his head before he had even touched anything. The boiler was 6 years old. The PCB, the printed circuit board, the brain of the unit, had failed. The part alone cost more than £300 with labour on top. And here is the thing nobody told her when she handed over £2,000 for that boiler 6 years earlier. The PCB in that particular brand was built with budget capacitors that the manufacturer's own internal data showed had a 28% probability of failing within 5 years. The manufacturer knew, the engineer knew, the installer who quoted her the cheapest price that day knew. She did not know. That is not bad luck. That is a business model. Today we're going to take it apart piece by piece, name the 5 brands that are robbing British homeowners blind, tell you exactly how they do it, and give you the 3 boilers that gas-safe engineers actually fit in their own homes. Before we dive in, tell us where you are watching from in the comments, and click subscribe if you find this useful. This information is free, and it always will be. This channel exists for one reason: to give you the information that the heating industry buries under marketing language and loyalty incentives before you make one of the most expensive decisions in your home. A new boiler in Britain costs between £2,000 and £4,500 installed. It will sit in your home for the next 12 to 15 years, or it will not, depending on what you buy. The brand you choose on the day determines which outcome you get, and the person selling it to you has a financial reason to steer you toward a particular answer that may have nothing to do with what is best for your home. Here is how this list was built. First, the Which gas boiler brand survey from May and June 2025, covering 10,064 homeowners and 225 gas-safe trusted trader engineers. Reliability accounts for 40% of the total score. Engineer scores including build quality, ease of sourcing parts, ease of servicing, and unprompted recommendations account for another 40%. Second, gas-safe engineer feedback from independent heating forums where engineers speak without manufacturer incentives. Third, Trustpilot and verified homeowner review data. Fourth, published UK repair cost data. No boiler manufacturer has paid for placement on this list. At least 2 of the brands on the worst list would prefer this video did not exist. Before we get into the brands, you need to understand why choosing the wrong boiler in Britain is more painful than almost anywhere else in Europe. Buying a boiler in Britain is not the same calculation as buying one in Germany. In the UK, if your boiler develops a fault in year 4 and the manufacturer stonewalls you on warranty, the Consumer Rights Act gives you theoretical protection. In practice, enforcement is on you. Most people do not fight it, they replace it. Britain has the oldest housing stock in Western Europe. More than 1/3 of homes were built before 1965. Corroded pipework, mineral-heavy hard water in the south and east, and undersized radiator networks place additional stress on every component of a modern condensing boiler. A boiler that works reliably in a new build in Stuttgart faces completely different conditions in a Victorian terrace in Sheffield. Budget components fail faster in those real-world conditions, and when they do, parts for budget Italian or mid-market European brands are often not in UK merchant stock. They are ordered from abroad. Your engineer charges for the call-out on day 1. The part arrives in week 2. You have had no heating for a fortnight. Now, the 5 brands. Worst brand number 5, Ariston. Let me say something honest about Ariston before I explain why it is on this list. It is Italian. The branding is clean, the design is contemporary, and walking past it in a showroom you would not immediately suspect a problem. That is precisely the problem. Ariston has struggled to build a reliable reputation in the UK. Users consistently report inconsistent water temperatures and high repair rates, and customer service is described as slow to respond once the unit is out of warranty, which data shows Ariston in the lower half of brand satisfaction scores, with engineers rating build quality and parts availability particularly poorly. When a component fails on an Ariston in a rural property in Shropshire or the Scottish borders, replacement parts regularly take several weeks. No heating, a call-out charge already paid, an engineer who cannot return without the part. The design is not the product. The heat exchanger is the product. And when that fails on an Ariston out of warranty, the repair quote will tell you everything you needed to know before you bought it. Worst brand number 4. Heatline. Heatline boilers appear at the very bottom of price comparison websites, which is the first signal you need. Budget pricing on a gas appliance that will run continuously for 12 years reflects a decision about component quality, and that decision has consequences. Heatline units have poor reliability, noisy fans that wear prematurely, and frequent ignition faults. The Heatline Caprice, one of their most widely installed models, has suffered from breakdowns and increasingly scarce spare parts. That second issue is the defining one. Heatline is not a brand with a growing UK presence and expanding parts network. It is a brand with aging stock and a shrinking supply chain. Engineers consistently report that parts are difficult to source, expensive relative to their quality, and that on any example beyond 5 or 6 years old, the honest recommendation is replacement rather than repair. A boiler you cannot service is not a boiler, it is a countdown timer, and Heatline fits that description. Worst brand number 3, Vokèra. Let me say something fair about Vokèra. It is a British-Irish brand with over 35 years in the market, and for landlords on a 5-year replacement cycle, the low upfront cost has a specific logic. But here is what the Which survey found. Vokèra received the lowest overall satisfaction score of any brand, 50%. 1 in every 2 owners was dissatisfied. The Vokèra Compact has documented ignition lockouts, gas valve faults, and diverter valve failures. The diverter valve switches the boiler between heating and hot water. When it fails, usually in a British winter, usually out of warranty, the replacement costs around £250. Then the PCB fails, £500. At that point, the gap between what you saved buying Vokèra and what you would have paid for a Worcester has completely closed, and you are still on Vokèra. There is a word for this. It is called false economy, and Vokèra has made a business out of it for 35 years. Worst brand number 2, the Baxi 400 range. Baxi is a complicated entry, and I want to be precise. Baxi has 150 years of British manufacturing heritage. Their 800 series is a genuinely different product with responsive customer service, a strong parts network, and solid engineer ratings. The Baxi 800 Combi belongs in a different conversation. The Baxi 400 range is the problem. At around £650 to £725 for the unit, it carries an A energy efficiency rating that sounds impressive. That rating masks a real-world efficiency of 89%, the very bottom of the A bracket. The Viessmann Vitoden 050W, which competes directly with the Baxi 400 on an installed price, achieves 98% efficiency and a hot water flow rate of 12.1 litres per minute. For any home with more than 1 bathroom or more than 3 bedrooms, the 400 is underpowered. The 24 kilowatt variant is not suitable for most UK family homes at all, but the deciding issue is the warranty. The Baxi 400 ships with 5 years standard cover. At similar price points, Viessmann offers 10 years on the heat exchanger alone, and Worcester Bosch extends to 12 years on the premium range when installed by an accredited engineer. Shorter warranty periods on budget models are not administrative decisions. They reflect actuarial decisions. The manufacturer has calculated the expected failure rate and priced the warranty accordingly. When the Baxi 400 is covered for 5 years and the Worcester for 12, the manufacturer is telling you something about confidence in their own product. You should listen. Worst brand number 1, Ferroli. Ferroli has topped the worst boiler lists of every major independent United Kingdom heating survey for years. the consumer magazine which places it at the bottom of the table. Gas-safe professionals consistently describe it with the same words: uneconomical to repair, unreliable within 5 years, and a nightmare for parts. The technical picture. The Ferroli Optimax and Modena use a copper heat exchanger. Copper heats water faster than aluminium, but in the hard water conditions prevalent across southern and eastern England, copper exchangers have a documented service life of around 7 years. Stainless steel, which Viessmann uses, is corrosion resistant and designed to last the full operational lifetime of the boiler. Ferroli chose copper because it reduces manufacturing cost. You pay for that decision in year 5 or 6 when the exchanger starts to go. The PCB is worse. Ferroli's budget control boards use capacitors costed at around £12. Premium brands use capacitors at 3 to 4 times that figure. Those capacitors fail. PCB replacement costs over £300 in parts, plus £100 to £200 in labour. Ferroli's own out-of-warranty scheme charges £335 for a call-out covering parts only up to £250. Any repair exceeding that, including most PCB and heat exchanger failures, is classified as beyond economic repair. The manufacturer's repair program is designed to write off the boiler, not fix it. Ferroli has around 45 approved engineers across the United Kingdom. Worcester Bosch has thousands of accredited installers nationwide. When your Ferroli fails in February in Northumberland, you are waiting. There is nothing in the warranty that changes that. Before we get into the 3 boilers worth buying, drop a comment right now. What boiler do you have, and has it broken down out of warranty? My guess is a significant number of you will say yes, and that the repair quote came close to the cost of a replacement. I also suspect a fair few of you will say it happened in November or December. That is not coincidence. Boilers run hardest when the weather is coldest, and degraded components reach their failure point precisely when you need the system most. That is a load-bearing calculation, not a seasonal one. Option 1. Ferroli Modena Combi, fully installed, around £1,800. In year 4 the PCB fails, call out plus parts, £450. In year 7 the heat exchanger goes. Repair quote, £650. The engineer tells you it is not worth fixing on a 7-year-old Ferroli. You replace it, another £1,800. By year 15, 2 boilers, 2 unplanned repair bills, an estimated £4,700 total. 2 winters without heating. Option 2. Worcester Bosch Greenstar 4000, fully installed, £2,600. Register with an accredited installer and get a 10-year parts and labour warranty. If the heat exchanger fails in year 6, Worcester sends an engineer and it costs you nothing. By year 15, with annual servicing at around £90 a year, approximately £3,950. £750 less than the cheaper boiler. 0 winters without heating. The sticker price is a trap. The total cost of ownership is the number that matters. The 3 boilers worth buying. Number 1, Worcester Bosch Greenstar 4000 or 8000 range. Worcester Bosch has held the Which Best Buy endorsement for 16 consecutive years. That is not a brand that got lucky with one survey cycle. It is a manufacturer that has earned consistent top scores on reliability, engineer satisfaction, build quality, and parts availability across thousands of homeowners and hundreds of independent gas-safe engineers surveyed without manufacturer incentives. Which awarded Worcester full marks on build quality and parts availability, 2 of the most operationally significant factors for long-term ownership. The parts network is the practical reason to buy Worcester in Britain. Every UK plumbing merchant carries Worcester Bosch spares. Same day or 48 hours in almost any location, rural Cumbria to coastal Devon. A cheaper boiler needing a £40 part can leave you without heating for 3 weeks while it ships from Europe. The Worcester part arrives tomorrow. The Greenstar 4000 suits most British homes, 3 to 4 bedrooms, up to 2 bathrooms. Fully installed, around £2,300 to £2,800. Extended to a 10-year warranty with an accredited installer, and 12 years on the 8000 range. The warranty is parts and labour if the heat exchanger fails in year 6. Worcester covers the engineer and the fix. Competing warranties that cover parts only leave you with the call-out charge and the labour cost on a supposedly warranted repair. The honest caveat: Worcester Bosch is the most expensive mainstream combi in the UK. You will pay a premium. That premium is the warranty network, the parts availability, the 16 years of independent validation, and the peace of mind that your heating is backed by the best after-sales infrastructure in the country. Number 2. Viessmann Vitodens 100W. Viessmann is the premium technical choice. The reason comes down to one component: the inox radial stainless steel heat exchanger. Every other mainstream boiler brand in the UK, including Worcester Bosch, uses an aluminium heat exchanger. Aluminium is cheaper to manufacture. Stainless steel is significantly more corrosion resistant, more durable in hard water areas, and more efficient over time. Viessmann's patented stainless steel heat exchanger maintains its efficiency rating over years of service, where aluminium models degrade. Independent reviews cite a 10% efficiency loss on aluminium heat exchangers over 12 years under hard water conditions, against minimal measurable degradation on the Viessmann stainless steel unit over the same period. The Vitodens 100W achieves 94% efficiency. The Vitodens 200W reaches 98% 98 pence of usable heat from every pound of gas. The modulation ratio on the 100Ws is 1:10, meaning it can throttle down to 10% of maximum output during low demand periods rather than cycling on and off. This reduces both gas consumption and component wear. It held the Which Best Buy endorsement from 2017 to 2025 and is widely installed by engineers who describe it as equal to or more reliable than Worcester in their real-world call-out data. The honest caveat: out-of-warranty servicing can be more expensive than Worcester, as Viessmann's German-engineered components carry a cost premium. Parts availability has improved significantly since 2020, but is not yet as seamless for rural areas. Viessmann's aftercare customer service, as several Trustpilot reviewers note, is the one area where they trail Worcester. If something goes wrong outside warranty in a hard-to-reach location, you may have to work harder to get a resolution, fully installed £2,200 to £3,000. 10-year warranty on the heat exchanger, up to 12 years with a Viessmann accredited installer. For homes with hard water, older pipework, or owners who want the technically superior component specification over the longest possible service life, this is the boiler. Number 3. Vaillant Ecotech Plus. Vaillant received 81% approval from independent gas-safe engineers in the Which survey, the highest engineer score for a German brand in the data. These engineers carry no brand loyalty incentive. Surveyed anonymously, they recommended Vaillant above all others in its category. That is the voice of the people who see what breaks, when it breaks, and how much it costs. The Ecotech Plus is particularly strong for larger British homes with high simultaneous hot water demand, for example properties with 2 or more bathrooms running at the same time. It modulates down to a 1:12 ratio, the best of any mainstream United Kingdom combi, which translates to meaningful energy savings on the mild shoulder days that make up the majority of the British heating year. The build quality is on par with Worcester, Bosch and Viessmann. It features German engineering, well-documented component durability, and a parts network that is available across the United Kingdom without the delays that budget brands face. One honest caveat is that Vaillant has a smaller accredited installer network than Worcester in some rural areas, which can mean longer wait times for warranty repairs in less populated parts of Britain. Check that your local gas-safe installer is Vaillant accredited before committing. That unlocks the extended warranty terms and means your repair response time stays reasonable if something does go wrong. Fully installed, £2,200 to £3,000. Up to 10 years warranty with an accredited Vaillant installer. If Worcester is unavailable in your area or priced above your budget, Vaillant is not a compromise, it is an equivalent. Here is the rule: write this down before you take a quote from any installer. 3 questions. Ask them in this order. First, what is the warranty? And does it cover parts and labour, or is it parts only? A parts only warranty will leave you paying call-out and labour costs on every fault. The best warranties cover both parts and labour. If the answer is parts only, ask what the labour cost is on a typical warranty call-out. The number you get will tell you a great deal. Second, are you an accredited installer for this brand? Non-accredited installers unlock only the standard shorter warranty. An accredited Worcester Bosch installer unlocks 10 to 12 years. An accredited Viessmann installer unlocks 10 years. Non-accredited installers get 5 years. The difference over the boiler's life is significant, and it costs nothing to ask. Third, how quickly can you source parts for this brand from your local merchant? Anything other than same day or next day means a brand whose parts network is not suited to Britain. Winter breakdown plus long parts wait equals a week without heating. That question costs 30 seconds. The answer changes what you should buy. The boiler industry depends on you choosing based on price, signing on the day, and discovering the consequences 3 or 4 years later. Out of warranty, with an engineer shaking his head at a component that cost the manufacturer £12 to fit. Do not be the homeowner in Leicester who found out the hard way. Be the one who watched this video first. If this video saved you from a costly mistake, please subscribe now. Share it with anyone who is about to buy a boiler.